Hey all, Some Audio Guy here. Now, the title of this video is somewhat inflammatory since I've probably never met you. But if you're watching this video and you record a podcast or do some kind of spoken word or voiceover recording at home, then statistically, chances are pretty good that your audio sucks and I'm very disappointed in you. So let's take a look at some tips and tricks to help improve the quality of what you record. Tip number 1, use your damn brain. The fastest way to improve what you're recording is to think about what you're recording and how you're recording it. What is a microphone? Now, that's not some metaphysical trick question. I really want you to think about it. It's a piece of equipment designed to capture the minute and weak vibrations generated by human speech. The human voice isn't a particularly powerful instrument when it's only talking. Knowing this, placement of your mic is critical. Maybe you just upgraded to a nicer USB mic, or maybe you took the plunge on something studio grade. Congratulations, you now have an even more sensitive piece of equipment. Good thing you took that hypersensitive vibration tracking machine and put it right next to a computer fan on top of a wobbly desk hovering just slightly above that keyboard you love to use while recording your podcast. Wow, that's the highest quality typing and fan noise I've ever heard. Congratulations! Which brings me to tip number 2. Tip number 2. Use your damn ears. Seriously, folks, if we were talking cameras and there were a big smudge on your camera lens, you'd clean your lens. If there was a big object blocking your subject, you'd move your subject to get a clearer shot. You'd use your eyes to assess the output and then improve the quality of your photography. Far too often, I work with someone trying to improve their audio, and they haven't listened or adjusted beyond setting the mic up initially and determining that the audio is bad. Play around with location. Play with the angle of microphone attack. Maybe pointing the mic right at your mouth sounds nice and warm, but radically increases the likelihood of plosives distracting your audience. Pop plosives pucker up my... Use your ears. Listen to your room. Listen to your voice when it's out in the air and not inside your head. Start making judgments and forming opinions. I like this. I don't like that. This is the sound I want to send out to my audience. You can't go about solving problems in your recording chain if you aren't even sure what problems sound like. And you can't produce a high-quality audio show if you don't know what kind of audio you want to produce. And getting to that audio quality shouldn't be prohibitively expensive, which brings us to tip number 3. Tip number 3. Use your damn wallet more effectively. I get it. Mics are sexy, they look good, and they're the tool most directly responsible for capturing your voice. People, you've got to stop equating nicer mic with nicer recordings. If you're starting to spend money on things like microphones, you've got to start considering your entire recording environment in total. If you don't, you stand to make your recordings worse, not better. A nicer mic is more detailed and accurate. It'll do a better job of recording all of the impurities in your space. Remember tip number 1? If you can save up to buy some room treatments, it'll help tame things like reflections and echo in your room. Even something as simple as packing blankets on the walls can help shape the sound of your audio. Sure, I look like I'm in an Al-Qaeda training video, but at least I have a somewhat neutral background and my audio doesn't sound boomy or echoey. We're able to tame distraction, so hopefully my audience just focuses on what I have to say, even when I'm insulting them. Ditto something as simple as investing in a longer USB cable so you don't have to keep your USB mic right next to your computer. And to that point, picking the right mic is probably even more important to improving the quality of your audio. Working in voiceover, I have a pretty decent collection of studio-grade mics. But what do I use at home? More often than not, a lowly SM57 handheld stage mic. Little dynamic mics like this, when properly driven by a preamp, line activator, or interface, do a remarkable job of capturing your subject while ignoring background impurities. There's a reason American radio stations use the mics they do, and it's often so they don't have to be as exacting with room treatments and soundproofing in a somewhat busy recording environment. It feels good buying that nicer mic, but then you have to work harder to fix the issues which come with more accuracy. you're working backwards and you're working harder than you need to. Think about your space, pick the right tool for that job, and it'll save you a lot of grief, I promise. And with those 3 tips, we're barely scratching the surface on recording. But hopefully I've given you some food for thought. Now get out there, record some stuff, listen to it, and make it better. My ears will thank you. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next video.